Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 77th Emerging Growth Conference and day one of our two-day super virtual investor conference. I'm Anna Berry. Just a few notes. Today we're running until about 5 p.m. Eastern. When we switch to the next company, you'll see a black screen for a moment. Don't go anywhere. That's us just moving over to the next presenter. If you do experience downtime, refresh your browser because our platform does work best on Google Chrome. So if you're watching from an Apple device, you have to hit the play button to start the session. Now, all of our conferences, they're uploaded to the Emerging Growth Conference YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe, youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference. Now, today, during each company's presentation, you can submit questions through our webcast module, and we will attempt to address as many of these at the end of the presentation. Happy to begin with ATRenew Inc. It trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol RERE and operates a leading technology-driven pre-owned consumer electronics transactions and services platform in China under the brand ATRenew. So happy to welcome Investor Relations Manager Jessie Jen. Welcome, Jessie.
Thank you, Anna, for the introduction. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jessie, the Investor Relations Manager from ATRenew Inc. As Anna mentioned, that ATRenew offers an extensive pre-owned consumer electronics trading and services in China. So actually, in terms of scale, we are the largest player in the industry in China, the largest pre-owned consumer electronics transactions and services provider in China. So before today's presentation, I will give you an overview about what's going to present today. So I'm going to talk about our business overview and then followed by our latest quarterly highlights, which was released on November the 20th, which was about the third quarter earnings of 2024. And then we were going to focus on our core strategies and mention something about our latest ESG updates. And this will be followed by a Q&A session. So if you are looking at my slide of slide 4, this is the explanation about our 3 steps to our long-term mission, which is to give a second life to all idle goods. So our business was incorporated in 2011, and that was the starting point for us, our founders, to start a business of recycling used consumer electronics, especially smartphones, from consumers, and then further inspected and graded, and before distributing them to business owners in China. Follow on, we had a breakthrough to establish our national brand, which is consumer-facing under the brand name of ATRenew, which simply means "I love recycling" in Chinese. So currently, under this ATRenew brand, we have a nationwide presence of over 1,600 stores, physical stores in 263 cities in China. So it's extensive, and all the stores are located in shopping malls to provide a seamless and interactive consumer electronics recycling services to consumers in China. And along our path to achieve the long-term mission of to give a second life to all idle goods, here's the path of our evolution, starting from the point that we incorporated with the brand of ATRenew in 2011. And since our founding, we've explored ways to establish trust with consumers, which previously in the traditional way that consumers may find a little bit like concerned about recycling their used devices when they are trying to upgrade for new. So that's why we established our offline presence in 2014 with our physical stores. And then in 2015, we established our exclusive relationship with JD.com, the largest e-commerce player in China. And afterwards, we established and further upgraded our trading services to provide consumers with seamless offering when they are buying something new, so they can make the decision very quick and with a very economic consideration when they're buying something new. And in 2017, we established our PJT marketplace, which is a B2B transaction marketplace that serves about 800,000 small and medium-sized business owners across China. And that's the marketplace for us to distribute our sources of supply with very efficient turnover rate. Under this marketplace, as we develop this marketplace, we also set up like 8 regional operation centers across China, including the mainland areas, also the Hong Kong SAR. So within these operation centers, we were able to upgrade 2 of them into with fully automated inspection systems, which increased inspection accuracy and efficiency as we downsize our fulfillment expense per device. So when we went to 2019, that's where we acquired PaiPai Marketplace, a B2C platform from JD.com, and forming the closed loop of see and recycling to inspection to grading and testing and pricing, etc., and then to retail distribution to retail consumers. And in 2020, we have our physical presence in Hong Kong, with which is now the center, the head office of our overseas business. That's where we support the circulation of used iPhones, etc., to go through the global circulation. And that's the free trade zone that we are leveraging to establish and leverage our technology capabilities as well as global circulation capabilities. So here's the slide for our closed loop supply chain capabilities that we have in China, which is industry leading. Because on the supply side, we have aggregated diverse supply sources of supply coming from consumers directly, as we have our own AHS Recycle brand named website and app, as well as our 1,600 physical stores nationwide. And as we establish our official partnership with brand partners like Apple and Huawei, we are able to secure further more diverse sources of supply from consumers. And in addition to, as I mentioned, the strong exclusive relationship with JD.com in China. In terms of marketplaces offerings, we are able to provide like our in-house developed inspection tools to small business owners in China to support their inspection capabilities while they are trying to attract some resources of used devices and then circulate through our marketplaces like PJT Marketplace. And in the middle side of this slide, you are looking at our substantial standardized inspection, grading, and pricing system, which is also our in-house developed proprietary capability to support like over 32 million used devices per year. So that's where we are able to achieve economic of scale and also to support nationwide circulation of pre-owned consumer electronics. For the devices that is able to be used directly to by consumers directly, we sell them through PaiPai Marketplace and provide 7-day free return and one year quality warranty. And also, we are trying to establish our own presence of retail capabilities through our AHS physical stores. That's where we have the vivid understanding and to present and to offer consumers with a direct demonstration of how like new devices look like and how not so good devices look like. But consumers are able to have a vivid understanding about how secondhand mobile phones look like. So it's a very it's an effective, efficient touch point for consumers to pick and shop for the used device at a value for money option, And as for the devices that are in like mid to lower tier conditions, we distribute them through PJT Marketplace, which ensures us a very efficient turnover rate. Like the days of inventory that of our products sold through PaiPai and AHS Select usually takes about 20 days, while those for those as-is condition phones distributed through PJT Marketplace, the days of turnover usually takes about 4 to 5 days. So that's how we achieved an economic of scale. And from the consumer touchpoint scenarios that we as I mentioned, we have over 1,600 physical stores nationwide. All are located in shopping malls. these shopping malls and these physical stores have enjoyed sufficient traffic of consumers who, and also these stores are functioning as our like branding system and consumer brand name to increase the consumer awareness of this our recycling and trading services. And within those stores, we offer our face-to-face delivery and fulfillment services. Like our store staff will support consumers to trade in their devices by offering the data migration, data cleaning services, and also we offer extra value-added services at our stores, so that all the recycling and trading process is very transparent, and consumers can have a better understanding of how the pricing mechanism works. In addition to these offerings, we are trying to get more exposure to our consumers. As we leverage our existing store network nationwide, we have about 580 stores that are able to support consumers' need to dispose of their idle luxury goods, including bags and watches, and something like gold and accessories, sometimes jade, etc. So here's what we do at our stores for these new categories. We offer our services as a touch point to engage with more consumers. And through a platform business model, we connect our consumers with hundreds of small business owners who are able to take inventories of those luxury bags and watches and gold, etc. So as an agent for these consumers, we charge take rate of approximately 3.5% from these new categories transactions, and book these services income from services under our service revenue. I will elaborate on that later. So this is an asset-light service model, and as we are leveraging our existing store network, there's no extra capex needed. So here, the new category service offerings are actually a new interest point to engage with more consumers who are going to try recycling and who have not tried recycling before. And we also monitor the cross-sell rate of consumers who went to our store for recycling their luxury goods. So the data is showing a good conversion rate as consumers manage to dispose of their idle luxury goods. They will come back to us for other categories recycling within 30 days. The conversion rate is approximately 20%. So this is also a touch point for us to engage with more consumers. This is the demonstration of our automation technology that we established in Changzhou and Dongguan automated facilities. Here's the fully automated process, the system with AGVs, with shunting system that no human interaction is needed. So that's how we increase our circulation efficiency and inspection accuracy. That through this kind of automation system that we do not need manned inspection, like tearing up the device. We can simply use X-ray to inspect whether the device or the chips, the boards has been replaced or maintained. So it's a way of us increasing our internal operating efficiency, as well as storage capacity. In terms of the third quarter financial and operational highlights, which was released earlier on November the 20th, in terms of the financial data that we were able to achieve over 24% year-over-year growth in terms of top line, which our product revenues coming from the sales of products that we sourced from consumers directly actually provided the higher growth engine of over 25% year-over-year growth. And the service revenues coming from the supporting the transactions between business owners was increased by approximately 14%, which still outpaced the growth of the overall industry in China. And another highlight for the third quarter 2024, which ended on September 30th this year, was that the quarter is the first time for us to report a GAAP income from operations, and as well as a GAAP net income from net income. So that's the milestone for our profitability under the GAAP measures. While there are some adjustments, reconciliations between GAAP and non-GAAP, you can refer to our earnings release and our 6K furnished with the US SEC. The two major differences are the share-based compensation expenses as well as the amortization from the earlier acquisition of PaiPai, the intangible assets. So under the non-GAAP measures, our income from operations also reached another high of over 100 million RMB in the quarter. So that's another milestone of us. In terms of shareholder return, we are currently adopting a share buyback plan of up to $50 million, and we are rolling it constantly. As of the end of the third quarter, we actually returned over $20 million to shareholders. So we will continue to go with our share buyback plan. And another highlight in terms of our operation business that we are able to engage more with our consumers through our retail channels, like I just mentioned, through our official AHS physical stores in China. And that part actually increased by multiple times. So combining those retail channels, including PaiPai, AHS Selection, as well as our live streaming retail channels, the retail revenue increased by 120%, over 120% year over year. Another highlight was we actually, another thing to mention that we have our own in-house refurbishment capabilities in our operation centers. And the revenue came from that business line increased by 84% year over year. And also as we engage with Apple China, as we support the trading service of Apple.cn and Apple's official flagship stores in China, our business segment had improved its gross profit margin as well as the business scale compared with the same quarter last year. In terms of our service revenues, the new category service recycling business was welcomed by consumers in China. So the overall take rate increased slightly, and the scale of this business was increased by over four times year on year. Another highlight was that the trading service was more popular in China because, considering China's nationwide subsidies for consumer goods trading, that more consumers can benefit from the value for money option when they are buying something new. So this slide is actually available on our IR website, so feel free to dive deeper into these slides. And I think I'm going to save more time for our Q&A before the Q&A. There's one last thing I want to mention. So in terms of our top line guidance, we guided about 22 to 25% year-over-year growth in terms of top line in the fourth quarter this year, which makes us, we expect to report over 16 million RMB in terms of total net revenues for the year, 16 billion RMB. That will be a 25% year-over-year growth. As for adjusted operating income, we expect to achieve further improvement year over year in the fourth quarter. That was the improvement in our profitability actually come from the economy of scale, which is realized through the improved efficiency from our fulfillment expenses and sales and marketing expenses. So these are the main areas that we are working on right now. In terms of our long-term strategy, we are trying to convert more precise orders from trading scenarios from the collaboration with JD.com, from Apple trading service scenario. And also we are trying to leverage our store to improve our store unit economies, as well as to improve our cost efficiency with tech, like I just mentioned. Our automated inspection facility in Dongguan and Changzhou has, these two facilities have some flexibility to handle more processing and testing of used devices. And also we will leverage our own supply chain capabilities as well as our in-house refurbishment capabilities to secure more devices for retail business, which has a higher gross profit margin. Basically, that's it. So I believe, Anna, I'm okay to take some questions from the audience.
All right. Right, thank you. Yeah, you mentioned this, but talk a little bit more about your key growth drivers for the business.
Yeah, so for the key growth drivers of our business, it's very interesting because we are seeing the consumer trading, like the subsidy is coming to China, and we are benefiting from this trend through JD channel, through JD.com, because JD.com has the established supply chain capability, which was co-built with our system to support the consumer goods trading. Like you must have noticed that in China, the first batch of trading subsidy was actually applied to home appliances, including like television, air conditioner, AC, and TV, etc. And also laptops are included. So actually, we're seeing some consumers are trying to recycle their used smartphones or laptops, tablets, etc. for when they're buying new home appliances. That's the capability we have established, and we are able to support the trading service through JD's channel. And also, in terms of our growth engine, that we are going to, like our chairman mentioned during the earnings conference call, that we are going to accelerate the pace of our stores openings in 2025. So by the end of 2025, we expect to have a total number of 2,000 stores in China under operation. So that's how we engage with consumers directly through our physical presence, and to build a face-to-face trust to earn more conversion, either from consumer electronics or from the new categories like luxury goods and gold, etc.
Well, undeniably, one of the fastest growing economies is China. So what is new about the circular economy over there?
Yeah, in terms of trendy circular economy, we are seeing the younger generation is actually quite keen about it because, you know, there are some like C2C transaction channels in China for consumers to circulate their used goods. While for the vertical of consumer electronics, we're still the largest for consumers to recycle or buy a used device, but with a good quality and like quality assurance, etc. So we're seeing more consumers are trying to adopt this kind of circular consumption behavior because of they are more prudent consumer behaviors. They want to save money as well as they want to look for something good with good quality. So value for money options is definitely a needed thing. And we are seeing that trading is a more popular way for consumers to buy something good, to buy something new, because the used devices can become a discount for a new device when they are trying to use the trading service. So it lifts the burden of consumers to buy something new, and circular economy is definitely becoming very trendy now.
And you said the youth, so I think about Apple, right? Because everyone has an Apple device. So how is Apple's trade-in business going?
Yeah, so before we officially engaged with Apple in June last year, we actually had like 2 years of negotiation in terms of commercial engagement with Apple, and we discussed our our compliance, our internal control and data protection policy, as well as our ESG performance with Apple. So we have the consensus to provide consumers with safe, efficient, and convenient way of recycling and trading. That's how we started our official partnership with Apple last year. So the business kicked off in the end of June last year, and for 2023, our product revenue came from Apple's official channel was 330 million RMB, which was just a starting point. As for 2024, we are trying to improve the business scale as well as our profitability on this specific business segment. So in 2024, we actually expect around 1 billion RMB of product revenue to come from this business segment. Well, other than that, other than the official channels of Apple's Apple.cn, the official website of Apple, as well as the flagship stores directly operated by Apple, we actually engage with consumers, like help consumers to recycle their used iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, etc. through our physical stores and our online touchpoints, as well as JD.com. So Apple is very important to us, and the Apple product actually accounts for approximately 60% of our self-operated business. So we are trying to, together, we are trying to offer consumers with better prices when they are trying to use trade-in and protect their privacy and personal information, etc.
Smart. With that, there's a follow-up question from one of your retail investors, Akito Uka. Akito says, as we all know, Trump is going to be the next president of the U.S., and the U.S. would impose a 60% tariff against China. So Akito's question is, how will you handle this tough situation if the U.S. conducts it, since his understanding is the iPhone is one of the very important items for ATRenew to gain strong revenue? So a little follow-up.
All right. In terms of revenue contribution, like the mainland China accounts for over 90% of our total revenues. Well, for international business, that accounts for approximately a single-digit percentage of our total revenues. And as a matter of fact, we do not export used devices from mainland China to Hong Kong, to Japan, to Southeast Asia, even to the United States. So we are limited from this kind of trade tariff increase. Well, for our Hong Kong-based centered, the trade international business centered in Hong Kong, actually it's more like engaging with business owners like carriers in Japan, in the United States, and acquire those used devices from this carrier, and then inspect these devices and grade these devices in the center of Hong Kong, and then circulate it through Hong Kong to maybe Southeast Asia, etc. So we are relatively less affected by this kind of potential in tariff increase.
And so last question, just to kind of close our presentation today, give us a little outlook for your multi-category recycling business.
Sure. Our multi-category recycling business is built in our existing store network, and we're trying to expand our physical offerings through to more stores, because currently we offer these new category offerings within our self-operated stores, about 586 self-operated stores. Well, we have more stores located in like the massive market in mid to lower tier cities in China through our franchisees, through our partners. So we could leverage this more local presence with our partners and tap into some categories like gold accessories recycling, which is more standardized and could be easily controlled through our entire store management system. So we could tap into some standardized categories and leverage our the Chinese consumers the increasing awareness of recycling gold, etc., and then to further increase our brand awareness of AHS Recycle among more Chinese consumers, and then leverage that to attract consumers to come back to our stores for more categories recycling.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Jessie. Fascinating industry you're in, and very important too. So we appreciate you being on the conference and look forward to following along with some more updates.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. If you have any further inquiries, feel free to explore our IR website or send us an email to ir@atrenew.com. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. We'll be right back with our next presenter.